From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Why are you a conspiracy theorist? And I said, why isn't everybody a goddamn conspiracy theorist?
This is the real research. Literally have an alien base, and they are literally communicating.
I don't have a whole lot of time.
Have you personally had any experience with interdimensional beings?
What we're thinking of as aliens, they have infiltrated a lot of aspects of military intelligence. And they are not what they claim to be.
We leave you much that is undone.
That's one small step for man.
There are great ideas undiscovered.
Visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars.
Remove one of truth's protective layers.
There's a monolith.
They want the major population centers wiped out.
Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
One giant leap for mankind.
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
Those challenges are yours.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
There are places to go beyond belief. Beyond belief.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Conspiracy Podcast. We don't take days off because reptilians don't take days off. And we're back again, back for the beginning of another week, Ollie.
You started that, like you were straight in there.
I
You were straight in.
I'm excited.
Like you hadn't had sex in a fucking year.
Or maybe I just had it just now.
Okay. Sorry for some.
You can only see one of my hands. Maybe I'm doing it as we speak.
Though I am feeling dirty right now because I've literally just come from busting a water pipe in the garden and shoveling shit all day. So
good. I'm glad. I'm glad your life's miserable. Makes me feel better.
I didn't say it was miserable, you know.
No, all I need to do is look at you, Ollie. I look in your eyes. I see sorrow.
Yeah. Okay. you got me. You got me, man.
The windows to the soul, Ollie. The windows to the soul.
I'm covered in shit, Lee. Literally shit, and I haven't even been in the shower. It's on my arms. See, it's fucking. I'm covered in it.
Was it actually a sewer pipe you went through?
I have no idea. I don't know what's on me. I have no idea what's on me, Lee.
Did it smell?
I don't know. I can't tell if it's me. Could be me.
Oh well, I mean this is usually the cue where people on podcasts would go, "Well, how have you been?" But obviously, I know you've been fucking awful, so it's fine.
Hence a beer on a school night, you know.
Oh yeah, it was not like Ollie to drink on a fucking weekday, is it?
I beg your pardon.
People don't need to understand as well that we record these at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So when Ollie's saying like I'm just having a glass of wine or I'm just having a beer, he's just woken up.
Yeah. You need something to prep your day. World's falling apart, Lee.
What's a Monday without a breakfast gin?
Oh no, I couldn't do gin on the morning. Maybe a beer, but not gin.
Gin and some like blood orange juice, something like that.
Oh, like a Bloody Mary. I like a Bloody Mary.
See,
anybody that doesn't like when they go to the airport on holiday at a silly early time that doesn't have a beer is a psychopath in my eyes.
I don't like early morning drinking. Happy to be a psychopath on this one.
No, but if I'm in an airport, I've got to.
No, I don't like even if I go away, I don't like anything before lunchtime pint. Don't know what it is. Never have done. I've never been like
not even in the airport. Just the airport.
Not really.
No. Anyway, on with the show then. Fuck it.
I did that time we went to America together. I had a drink when we were in the airport.
Because I sulked.
because you sulked and because we'd spent 7 hours on a bus.
And a bus that we actually didn't think we'd survive.
No, it was fucking awful. But alas. The housekeeping before we get into the podcast. If you're listening to this podcast and you want to, please go and give us 5 stars. It means more than you can possibly know. Spotify love people leaving 5-star reviews. Make sure you do it. If you listen on Apple, your reviews are also important, and you guys are still letting the side down, like massively letting the side down. So yeah, would like stuff from you, comments as well. If you leave comments on the episodes in Spotify, that's brilliant. If you listen to this on YouTube, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Retweet it, stick the episode on your socials, because if you like it, someone you know will like it, and then more people will listen to us, and we'll be happy. And Ollie will be less upset.
Yeah. Also, shout out to the I'm gonna get your words out, Ollie. To the Grumpy Grunts for giving us a shout out on their podcast.
I was listening to that podcast before. It was great.
Yep, I love it.
Yeah.
We've got to get them guys on. It's fun.
Yeah, it'd be cool. If you go and do the Patreon thing, if you're long-time listeners, you'll know this is a thing. You can sign up to our Patreon. It's $5.99. We will give you ad-free podcasts. We will give you early access to the video, and every month, at the end of the month, you will get yourself one of those live streams where we'll put the link out, and you guys can come and speak to us and come onto the show. Like we had 4 or 5 of you on.
They were fun.
On last week. It was really good fun. Really enjoyed it. And the more people that jump in, the more people that sign up to the Patreon, is the fun of those hangouts are going to get for us. So that'd be great. There's a merch store as well. The links for the merch store, and in the coming, I'm going to say days, to put some pressure on Ollie, rather than saying weeks and giving them the time. So in the coming days, don't get fucking upset. Don't worry. We've always picked good theme music. The theme of the show is going to change. There will be new intro music. It's a cool thing we're doing with. It's 2 things really.
Don't blow your load.
It's a cool collab with somebody, like an entity that I'm fond of, and the music we use now, although royalty free and open. That means somebody else can use it if they so chose to, and B, if someone suddenly decided that owns the rights to that music, I don't want that being royalty free anymore. That can cause us problems. So changing the intro now before we become super duper mega famous fixes these issues.
And we want something unique to us that nobody else, even though the intro is highly changed, but like you've put some great stuff behind the intro we have now with all the voices, but the new intro, it fucking slaps. And also
it's fucking awesome.
It's ours. Well, it's not. Well, we haven't. Well, no, no other podcast will be using this.
Ours, but no, yeah, it's not on another show. Yeah, that's fair. So that's just housekeeping. Hopefully going to happen this week. Tiny Hands has got to get his work behind the keyboard and make an intro video for it.
Yep.
Rumors and talks have suggested that might happen tomorrow.
I'm hoping so. Yeah, I need to get out in the trench tomorrow.
In the trenches.
Sort that pipe out. And yeah, I'll get to work on the intro.
Awesome. So what we're going to go for tonight, the floods that have just happened in Texas. Like, I'm sure everybody listening to this podcast is going to know about it. So we're going to play a brief news clip now, so we can all kind of get up to speed together on it, because I know some people aren't like news hounds. So this is from Global News on YouTube, and I picked it because it was the first video. And obviously they're clearly a great news channel.
These numbers I'm going to give you are at 8:55 a.m. this morning. These are changing rapidly, okay? We are now more than 24 hours into this tragic event. And Kerrville Police Department, Kerrville Fire Department, and Kirk County Sheriff's Office, and other first responders from around the Texas are continuing to conduct rescue and recovery operations along the Guadalupe River corridor. So far, we've evacuated over 850 uninjured people, 8 injured people, and have recovered 27 deceased fatalities at this time. Of these 27, 18 are adults, 9 are children. Of that, 6 of the adults are unidentified, and 1 of the children are unidentified at this time. That's at 8:55 this morning.
Trying to explain to a world that's watching this and asking questions what a flash flood looks like, where you have a, 20, 30-foot rise in the water in a matter of an hour, 4 to 6 a.m. on a holiday. Yesterday, I was on the phone with the president, with the secretary. I couldn't even get the conversation out with the secretary, trying to explain to her what we were dealing with. That doesn't happen often for me, but it took me a while to collect myself to even be able to tell her what we were looking at. And they've been fantastic, made available immediately at the request. I talked to NIM about the need for help with the Army Corps, talked to the secretary and their team and their immediate. It's been an extraordinary partnership. I think there's been 1,000 or so boots on the ground combined between state, local, and federal. Obviously, hundreds of people that have been rescued, 160 plus air rescues. I think that number's going up. Airlifting and taking in resources to some of these camps that were isolated.
People need to know today will be a hard day. It will be a hard day. This is the message I want to share. The city of Kerrville is thankful. We have help from our city crews, from county personnel, from state agencies, and federal resources, including the Coast Guard. Please pray for our community. Thank you.
So,
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. A couple of things to bring up here are the I can't say it, Guadalupe River surged 26 feet in 45 minutes. Right, the 70 deaths so far, 11 people missing.
So in 45 minutes it flooded how many feet? 26 feet.
26 feet. The river surge was 26 was in 45 minutes.
Wow.
The really interesting thing about this is this was nowhere. So like you can put it down to an inadequacies in like meteorological like forecasts. But there were no warnings issued hours earlier. Like there was no warning of this happening like whatsoever. You can't help but think that there is climate change will be sort of laid at the door of this,
pushed, yeah.
With like, I think it's something like, well, I've got another video for someone they bring up like the last time something like this happened. I think it was like 100 years ago or something when this happened. But the rainfall, we'll play this clip in like a couple of seconds. But the rainfall to the amount of devastation is off. We'll play this guy's clip right now because it's pretty good. No, it'll lead us well into the next part of this podcast, so it's probably a good move. Oh, why do fucking videos look like that?
So Texas, are we going to say that this thing rising 37 feet in just a matter of minutes is normal? Are we going to say that back in 1936 or 1932, whatever it was, it raised up 36 feet after 36 inches of rain in less than 36 hours, and this time we have 12 inches of rain, right? You say, oh, well, it was different where it was. Fine. Fine. But we got a 40-foot wall of surge. Take a look. Look at the width of that river. Look at the width over there, how far that is. You see, we're all supposed to believe that with a third of the amount of rain, all of a sudden, we've got this water surge of 40 feet, right? The worst in 100 years. And this all came and nobody knew, nobody predicted it. The weather, nobody knew about this, right?
My own meteorologist to fine-tune that weather statement, and as many of you know, and many of you in broadcast journalism and meteorology, you can go back and look at your own forecast, and the amount of rain that fell in this specific location was never in any of those forecasts.
So you hear him right there. The amount of rain that fell was never in any of those forecasts. So how could the greatest flood in 100 years not have been predicted, right? How could they not have known? Oh, well, it's the Texas Hill Country. It's flash floods, yada, yada, yada. Doesn't matter. We got a wall of 40 feet of water, and we had no idea. Well, look at that. Map of rain enhancement projects in Texas. Right there in the hill country where it happened, huh? I'm sure this is normal. You see nothing and then bam, right? Look at these charts. Look at this. 42 feet is unreal. Something's afoot, right? Everybody's talking about this. This is what's trending. Nobody believes that this just happened spontaneously, right? Think of the anomalies. You have Lahaina. You have L.A., you've got Asheville, North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, where the Category 3 hit the coast and then turned to a Category 5. Everybody's questioning this stuff. Everybody, everywhere, and it's trending. It's about time we got some truth out of this, no?
There's absolutely no reason to have that noise at the end of that fucking
No, I was
video.
going to say that. I was going to say, what a great, what a great little TikTok there, but then with that noise.
So this is one of the reasons, right? Because I always...
We've just lost a subscriber from that noise, by the way.
Probably, yeah. He was probably a patron as well. This is one of the reasons I felt safe doing this show. Because I always think when there is... when the kid's dead, there's parents out there. We're both parents.
Yep.
I cannot imagine what it must feel like to be one of those parents of like one of the missing girls or one of the dead people. However, this is not the norm, and I'm not sure why. This is why I am sure why, because it was an extreme thing with like no warning. Usually, in the other events where I think there has been weather manipulation, there's been like a build to it. Do you know what I mean? Where you've known there was something coming. It hasn't just been out of the blue quite like this, what this was. And this has come so weirdly. And do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, do you remember the, was it Dubai? Was it Dubai? It was Dubai, wasn't it? When they had the flooding in Dubai, they had the flooding in the desert.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was. I think it was Dubai. I think you're right.
So the incredible thing about that is because this is the wild thing about weather manipulation, is because it's the conspiracy that anyone that's calling weather manipulation a conspiracy is oblivious to the fact that it is 100% going on. It has been going on for a long time. I think it's something like there's 1,000 hours. Like Dubai spends like 1,000 hours a year seeding clouds to create rain. And when the flood happened, it was really weird because I noticed it just from some people I know that are like particularly sort of left and very much on the climate change bandwagon. The first thing out of their mouth was telling everybody it wasn't geoengineering. And it was so unnatural. Like the first thing was like, oh, I suppose the tinfoil hat people about with the chemtrails are going to come up next. And you're like, well, nobody fucking said that, mate. And then lo and behold, 2 days later, Dubai came out and said, yeah, we kind of fucked up with the cloud seeding, and we like went, wait, a little bit too much of this, a little bit too much of that, and the next thing is you got a flood in the desert.
Well, this is. Do you think sometimes with what they're doing is they don't want to cause this disaster, but they just fuck up. Do you know what I mean? That they overpredict, or they underpredict, should I say, of what they want out of this. If it's the weather manipulation that's done this,
well, I think this has just been going on for such.
Well, they're talking about blacking out the sun in the UK. So yeah, they do this. They've admitted that they've got this technology.
Well, I
So
mean,
they're
yeah,
gonna do it.
well, let's listen.
And just quickly, I just want to specify as well. My heart fucking goes out for all those families involved in that. But if me as a father, if that was to happen and me be there, I'd be asking the same questions, like what the hell's going on? This no warnings whatsoever.
This is the thing. So you've got Alex Jones talking about the cloud seeding in the UK, or the chemtrail spraying, whatever we want to call it. So
And then there's this, and there's and. Oh, the British government came out last night and said, we've been testing spraying chemicals from airplanes and mixed with jet fuel to block the sun out to protect you from global warming. And they list the exact barium salts, aluminum dioxide, and other particles that I've been talking about since 1995. I had guests on, meteorologists, in 95 before they even called them chemtrails, saying there is a geoengineering project going on and pointing out the UN treaties and all of it from 1978. So now they're, quote, approving the experiments. It's not an experiment. When it was experiments, it was totally secret. Now that it's going fully operational, oh, now we're doing it. Oh, and Bill Gates is involved. Oh, been
of course he is
involved the whole time. This is so huge.
So I have a theory about this. And I think there is fuck ups. This is the thing to remember, is that even technology, even like technology that you might have a total handle on, you know, some look at recording podcasts. Yeah. We record 5 shows a week. Most of the time, they go off without a hitch. Sometimes I go to download the audio in the morning and I put it into the software and I go, oh fuck, I need to take the day off and fix this because it's fucked. And it's just one of those things. You can't. When there are factors that are out of your control. In this case, it would be the internet.
Mm-hmm.
In geoengineering case, it would be like nature. When the things you can't control, sometimes things go wrong. So I think there is a massive possibility what you're saying is right. Is where there is these things going on.
Fucking God, mate.
Yes. But I can't help think that it's not. I mean, it could be a test, right? If you're entering a phase, right? Let's say you had a plan to, for instance, a hypothetical plan is to cause some sort of global palace coup, where you take over the governmental systems of, you know, we'll say much of the West. Maybe it's even bigger than that, and the idea is to take this further and have some sort of global singular government that oversees things.
Yep.
You're going to have uprisings. You can't fight a war on that front, like as a civil wars, for instance. What if you could just fuck the place up? How, right? Let's say, for instance,
that's interesting.
That the Texas, for instance, let's say America was in the middle of a civil war. You know, it's been floated out there. No pun intended with floated. it's been floated out there a lot how on the borderlines these things are. I don't think we're a fucking million miles away from it in the UK. I certainly don't think they're a million miles away from it in Ireland. And you want to stop that. You want to just crush it. It's great. Just fucking how's
a
3
fucking blizzard.
months? How's 3 months of rain? How's 3 months of rain in 24 hours going to fix you? Biblical amounts of rain. Then all of a sudden, everything dies off because the news cycle would become about the disaster that just happened. People would have to. It doesn't matter. Even the people that are in it, even the people that are there. First of all, like, you know, those people are cut off from the news and the media anyway, because you're not getting fucking internet and electricity at that point, are you? You're just trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Neighboring towns, states would have to help in the aid, which would then occupy more people than just the affected area. That's how I'd want to do it.
Well, nobody protests when the
In
weather
the rain.
is bad.
Oh.
Like,
There's another terrifying, and this is truly terrifying, actually. There's a film. It was a like a low budget, like indie film. I think it was Ian McKellen that did 1984.
I'm not sure, mate.
I think it's Ian McKellen. Anyway, if I'm wrong, fucking at me. And he did a post-apocalyptic movie, which was just him, just like a one-man film, where he was on he had like a records keeping thing that was in the middle of the ocean on a oil rig, and the film was called The Age of Stupid, and it was cataloging the time before the ice caps melted, before the great floods came again, because we carried on and melted the ice caps, and it was like a fictional retelling of essentially the period of time we're in right now. 90% of people that listen to podcasts like this will go, yeah, well, that was just, they're just pre-programming you. They're pre-programming you to accept climate change, and that's fine. I'm not the biggest believer in man-made climate change. However, I am always, you can call me on the fence if you want, or like fucking centrist dad on stuff like this. But I always try and think, what if I'm wrong about stuff? And when I see these like extreme weather events, and the first thing we do is we go, it's the government, man. It's the government seeding clouds. It's fucking chemtrails. Climate change bullshit. And you there think to yourself, like, hang on a minute. Are we going to fucking end up to our fucking knickers in salt water one day, still screaming at the sky going, stop the chemtrails, when it was actually fucking man-made climate change all along?
I think you will get at some point, you'll get protests on that. Stop fucking, not stop climate change, sorry, but stop
geoengineering.
Yes.
I think so, yeah. I think you're right. I think it's where, I mean, we should be doing now, and they've already said they're going to. Like,
so we're getting all the ones going, all the ones that are doing the, spraying the fucking famous paintings and shit like that.
Yeah.
I hope they're going to fucking warrior for us.
No, because they're paid by George Soros.
Yeah, twats.
No, but do you know what I mean? Like, I do like look at this stuff and go, it's we're going down the lines of this is all weather manipulation, where it does. If you take 10 steps back and like look at everything together and kind of put your fucking conspiracy part of your brain down, you go, this is kind of what they said would happen if we didn't do anything with climate change. We have elites building bunkers like under their fucking houses. We have governments that are clearly preparing for something. is that the actual truth of what's going on? When they start turning like they're using stuff like fucking UFOs and weather manipulation and like all this busy work, the Diddy trials and stuff like that, all there to keep people busy because they know in fucking 2012, for instance, we crossed the point of no return when it came to how the planet was heating up. And there's so much like that's the thing with like climate change now, isn't it? It's a choose your own adventure game. You want to find like genuine science, like genuine studies out there that can tell you unequivocally that climate change is caused by carbon emissions being put into the air. You can find that. If you want to find science that's been done that proves unequivocally that climate change is a hoax and it's natural earth cycles, you can find that.
See, I was all about like a long time ago, and this is I'd say not that long, 10 years ago. Yeah, I'd say that I was on the climate change bandwagon. I thought it must be a thing. Yeah, all these fucking ice caps melting. Not a chance. I'm not there now anymore. But I don't blame people that believe in it, if that makes sense. I don't blame them. I just don't think they've been educated in the other way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't believe in either of it, to be honest. Because I haven't seen enough evidence from either side like that. And the problem is that the evidence that's given with the climate change brigade, I think they use shaky stuff sometimes. The ice caps is a massive one because there's something like more sea ice right now than there has been since 2015 or something.
Do you remember being a kid and just constantly hearing about the ice caps just fucking melting?
Yes.
That's all you'd ever hear about when growing up in the 80s.
Yeah, it was
all, well,
90s was ice caps. The 80s you were still getting I don't remember this, but anyone older than say 50, say probably 50, will remember that like the 60s going into the 70s was all about global cooling, and they were worried about another ice age. So that's my problem with the climate change brigade is it seems to be an ever morphing panic, and for the evidence that is there, they're not confident enough in the evidence they have, so they have to kind of fudge the numbers a bit. Like I say, like with the sea ice thing and like the sea ice receding, so they will only talk about sea ice receding when it's in the receding phase of sea ice, where where like summertime is pushing it back. Essentially, they don't talk about it at all during the winter periods of that, where the sea ice like comes back. And I said, as far as I'm concerned, right now, with more sea ice than like since 2015, I think was the last time we had as much as there is now. They never talk about the fact that the Earth, as we're told it is, has had ice at the poles for such a fucking small fraction of time. You know, we are coming out of an ice age as far as like science is concerned. You know, we're defrosting. We're still in a period of defrosting. So there's that sort of stuff angers me slightly when I'm trying to work out
what if the ice age. You know, I'm going to go there, Lee. But you know, they talk about like realms and shit. And like Earth, the flat earthers say the world's bigger than it is. Yeah, you've got the ice wall, and then you've got all the other continents that we've never seen. What if when the fucking Ice Age came, that was just to fucking trap us here?
Yeah. Do you know what I hate about when people call it like sort of about realms? I've never heard
Sounds like a
single...
game.
It does, but I've never heard a single person that'll say, "Yeah, like Earth's more of a realm," and you go, "Oh, I'd like an explanation as to what you believe a realm is," because I hear a lot of people use the word realm, and I don't hear a lot of breakdowns of how they of what they necessarily believe that is.
Yeah. I mean, the guy that ended up in New York, and I think he died, and he had a passport of a country that didn't fucking exist.
Oh,
You
he was
hear about
hit.
that one?
All right, I've never known whether that was like a creepypasta story, whether that was actually real. So the idea behind that is that there was a guy hit by a car in Times Square. He was taken to a local police station where he was like seen for his like whatever things was. He spoke in a language that nobody could understand. He had a passport for a country that didn't exist, and he had money that wasn't real money. Essentially, he was put in a cell overnight, and then the next day when they came to check on him after everyone had gone to sleep, they checked the cell and he disappeared. That's the story of this guy. I have no idea whether that's real. I want that to be real with every fucking fiber of my being, though.
It's like the little green children in the UK that appeared from nowhere. You ever hear about those?
Yeah, that's weird.
And I forgot the town that they went to, but I think that they ended up there in this town. They had green skin. Nobody knew where they'd come from, and they spoke a different language. That had this very strange. I think they were wearing strange clothes at the time. But eventually, I believe they started to lose the green pigmentation and
The
started
Green Children of Woolpit.
That's the one, yes. They started to lose the pigmentation. I think a brother died, but she went on to have children.
Yeah. It says here, the Green Children of Woolpit refers to a medieval tale about they decided to use a weird I can't say about two children with green skin who appeared in a village of Woolpit, Suffolk, England, sometime in the 12th century. They spoke an unknown language, initially ate only raw beans. Their green skin,
Explains the green.
Yeah, unusual language and dietary habits led to speculation about their origins, which theories range from fairy folk to extraterrestrials. Story breakdown. The children were described as having green skin and wearing clothing made of unfamiliar materials. The language they spoke was unintelligible to the villagers. Diet usually initially refused all foods except from raw broad beans. The children claimed to have come from a land called St. Martin's Land, where the sun never shone. The village of Woolpit is a real place in Suffolk, England, located between Bury and Stowmarket. I've never heard of that place. Historical. What?
We'll go check it out.
Yeah, historical accounts. The earliest written accounts of the Green Children come from William of Newborough and Ralph of Crogshall, both writing in the 12th and 13th centuries. Cultural impact. The legend has inspired numerous works of fiction, art, and music. Yeah, weird.
Well, I didn't want to. Go on. No.
I was just going to say fairy stories. Fairy stories are fascinate me because, like, if you think about the Dark Ages and stuff like that, I think there's like some people would say, "Oh yeah, well, like people did weird stuff back then." You go, well, they were also like as far as we're concerned, is like what we think of as the Dark Ages. Who knows? Could have been fucking global totalitarian civilization back then. But like, I'm sure they're more interested in just fucking surviving than they were about making ridiculous tales about green kids.
Well, the reason why I wanted to bring that up, considering we're talking about climate change, and it is back to what I said about them maybe covering up Antarctica or whatever's there. Maybe there is more land behind it. I don't know, because I don't trust fucking NASA. Never a straight answer. But back in the day, you've pointed this out many a times. The maps would show big sea monsters. Now, were there actual sea monsters there, or did they not want them going there? Was that the way back then? Like they not a weather manipulation, but a manipulation of the map to put something there to say we do not go. If you go here,
yeah. Well, that's where the phrase comes, isn't it? The phrase is "Here be monsters."
Yeah, you're gonna get fucked up. But maybe they were just trying to trap you. You know, maybe this is part of the weather manipulation. You know, of Antarctica. They just want to. They maybe there is more land. I have no idea.
Hey, I'm for a long time, because I'm still not sold 100% either way on climate change and the reason for it, or weather manipulation. Do you know what I mean? Like I need for me to be like 100 on something. I need to know more. I need to, and the problem is, and this is, you some people probably call it an excuse for ignorance, but the people that are telling me the stuff are also, unfortunately, some of the most untrustworthy people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to man-made climate change.
Yeah.
You're definitely like, fool me once, but I'm not listening to these people, and that's why I think now more than ever, like, because obviously I think that movie I referenced, The Age of Stupid, probably came out in like pre-2012.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 2008, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
And so I hadn't thought about any of this stuff then. You know, like I'd have been like, global warming. Yeah, well, of course the planet's heating up. That sort of thing. I was nowhere near as deep in this sort of thing as I am now. However, even though it was pretty disturbing at the time watching that film, thinking, "Oh, glad I live on a hill." It's more disturbing now when I think, if man-made climate change is real, then like what that film depicted is exactly what happens. It's exactly what's happening now. Governments that don't care. Governments that have essentially given up. So have governments, you know, we turn around and say about, as far as like the building coal plants and stuff like that, saying, oh yeah, we should build coal plants, drill for oil. And then realistically, like, people like us are like, do you really think if like they start drilling for oil like 10 minutes like off the corner of your garden, your fucking gas bill is going to come down in price? No, it just means the companies are going to get fucking richer. You know, this is the way things are. But and then we hear about like more coal plants open all over the place. Is that just because it's not necessarily like, oh well, if the coal plants were damaging the planet and damaging the atmosphere, would they be doing it? Well, yeah, they'd be doing it if they don't fucking care about us. If they've got a plan B and we don't have a plan B, why would they fucking care about us? They've never cared about us before.
I'll tell you something as well, this kind of goes. This is a climate change where they create a calm, rather than create a storm. They create clear skies, clear seas. Because do you know what's happened this year? We've had record-breaking migrants coming over to the UK, and I watched a documentary where they'd gone to Calais, and they were seeing them all getting ready with the boats. It's almost like they got the get-go. It's going to be this is how clear it's going to be today. I can remember, and I don't know if you remember this, and it was all over the news at the time, where one of these boats sunk, and this was years ago.
I remember that. I remember the gross thing about that was
with a little baby washing up on the shore.
Yeah, but do you know what, mate? That
horrible.
No, but yeah, I mean, yes, it was horrible. It was a dead child.
There's no children coming over now, though, mate.
Wait. That changed me because there was 2 photographs of that, and the one which was on the photograph, which was on the front of all the newspapers, of that dead child lay upside down, like with his face in the sand. It's not how he was found.
Really, I didn't know that.
They moved it. There was a big thing about it. The photographer moved the dead child into a more palatable, like more camera friendly position to look more dramatic. And at that point, that was the first time I remember that slowly the pennies dropped and we go, oh, the news is bullshit. The news is bullshit because the truth wasn't horrifying enough. The truth was horrifying. The truth was horrifying, but it wasn't horrifying enough.
Mm. But isn't that crazy as well, though, that like I can remember they used to pipe on how dangerous that journey was. Now you look at it now, you could fucking get a little dinghy across.
Yeah. It's incredibly short as well. Like that length of that length of the channel is incredibly short.
Or I could be talking out my ass,
I know. I think
there has been record-breaking numbers because it's been so.
I don't
easy for them to get across.
I don't think they are harping the weather to make it easier to cross.
There's a reason why they want this country to be overthrown. For us to I think there's a reason why.
I don't want to shoot my load on. I don't want to shoot my load on that because we have Gritch from the Great British Strike on tomorrow.
Gritch
from the Great British Pike. Rich from the Great British Protest, actually, on tomorrow. Yeah, I don't want to spaff my load on the migrant crisis.
No, I don't want to.
So I want to keep my because you talk away. I'm just telling myself that because I don't want to get into the reason why I think it's happening today when I know we're going to do it tomorrow. I'm probably more in depth.
What I'm saying there is, I think quite often they will manipulate the weather to be really nice weather, just because it benefits whatever they want.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work. I mean, the idea is I think you like charge the ionosphere or something like that, which creates like low pressure. So in my head, and I could be completely wrong with that, but in my head that would make it that would be something you could do to make extreme weather not clear it up.
Well, and I'm gonna bring up Ashton Forbes here. We've had him on a few times.
Yeah,
we believe the MH370 footage is real.
Yeah,
I'm
not sure it's ours though. That's one thing I will.
Yes, yeah. This is our difference with Ashton.
Ashton's 100% on that. That is what like man-made technology. I'm not so sure about that.
But if he's right, and it is man-made technology,
Mhm.
if they can make a plane disappear with those orbs, what the fuck could they do to just the weather?
I mean, yeah.
If it is ours.
I mean, the minute you start like creating small black holes to teleport shit, like all bets are off, aren't they? But in respect to that, I can't help think they'll be able to do a better job of it.
What, of manipulating the weather?
Yeah. And maybe do it for more useful purposes. Like at the minute, so let's say, right, California wildfires, weather manipulation. Hypothetically, California wildfires, weather manipulation. Hawaii wildfires, weather manipulation. Floods, countless floods. You know, you had the ones that we covered, like up. Fuck the fucking name. It was in the Appalachians, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The weather manipulation, this weather manipulation, anything I've forgotten, weather manipulation.
It's all weather manipulation, people.
Right. I want to know why though.
Me too.
So why
are we doing this fucking show, Lee?
No. But what? Right. But why are we fucking Texas up? There's no. I mean,
well,
people
how much stuff's happened to the US over the past so many years? I mean, I know he's always had fucking hurricanes and what have you, but it seems
got
like
a place called Tornado Alley.
Yeah, it seems like it's fucking ramped up over the last 3 years.
Yeah. So, and then the case as well that, and again, all I'm doing is like steel manning the like the mainstream here. Like so if I was Neil deGrasse Tyson right now, I would say that's evidence of climate change. If I didn't want to say it was evidence of climate change, I would say we have 24-hour communication, 24-hour immediate communication. You know, anywhere on this planet, as long as somebody has a device, you can contact them in seconds now. So, has it stepped up, or is it just the fact that the people that are involved in it can get it out to more people now? Do you know what I mean? Like I think it's one of the reasons why what's going on with like Israel Palestine is there. You know, it's in the media all the time, and there have been like atrocities come and go over the past 2 decades without fucking any.
It's almost like Russia and Ukraine has been forgotten about.
Oh yeah, but it's fucking.
Well, over here it is anyway. Nobody's talking about that anymore.
Karen's got a new toy, so it's fine. You know, it's that the whole blue and yellow thing was getting a bit cliched anyway. You know, it's red, black, white, and green are much cooler colors. Like you can do more with those. They don't clash. But like I just wonder whether that's the reason for it, because there's more. It's an overload of information, and there's that part of me now that goes, right, are we like in the fifth set of the fifth round of the damage social media is doing to us? Like, is the because we are 100% in the age of conspiracy theory now.
Oh mate, it is the
everybody you know, right? Conspiracy theory used to be fringe, but it's so everyone you know. It doesn't matter whether you like your fucking uncle that's a taxi driver, or your fucking uncle that's a doctor, or your dad that's fucking a tailor, or your brother which walks Labradors. And only Labradors. He's very picky. It's weird.
Mate, when I was at my little boy's football presentation the other day,
Yeah.
and I was having a few beers with the dads, and there's one of the dads that I've known for quite a while, and I was speaking to one of the other dads, because I was having a very normal conversation, trying to act like I know anything about football, which I don't. But one of the lads says, "Oh, you want to see his podcast?" And I went, "Oh, we don't talk about that. Not when the kids about, I don't want them thinking I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist." But then he says, "Well, what's your podcast?" And so I end up telling him, and he's like, "Oh, I am on this tonight." And this is somebody that, but I actually got the feeling that through the conversation we were having after, he was genuinely like just a natural conspiracy theorist, but probably over the last maybe 5 years.
Yeah, well,
very new to it.
I've had chats with people at work, and because I think it's really weird, like especially when you do it, like quote unquote professionally, because we look at all types of stuff, and I'm sure like lots of our listeners, because we like are the same as us, because that's the sort of people that listen to these shows on a daily basis. But then you get like normies, like the normies now, and this is where it gets really fucking crazy, is that you'll get the normies out there that go, yeah, but like chemtrails are real. And you're like, well, you wouldn't have said that fucking 5 years ago. But then they'll go like, yeah, but your flat earth stuff's retarded. Like, okay, that's fine. But then there'll be another one where you're speaking to someone, and I use this now, especially because there's like more and more people know I do this sort of stuff. I use the Eddie Bravo litmus test with people. And so if we start talking about conspiracy theories, they start asking me about stuff I do in the podcast. You just go, did we land on the moon? And if they say yes, we landed on the moon, we can go no further. Like that's sorry, you're not in it. You're not in the club.
Did you see the clip I sent you today, by the way, with the guys from 2 Pints of Lager and a Packet of Crisps talking about, did we land on the moon?
No.
They were having a right argument over it.
Are they? But just back towards the weather manipulation thing. I get using it as a weapon of war. I get that. I also get the idea of using it to try and promote climate change, which I think they will do, but it doesn't seem to hit as much as it should do. Like when you get like floods now or wildfires, and like fucking insert celebrity A-list actor starts talking about climate change. Usually the Hulk, whatever his name is, he's a fucking cunt, isn't he?
Well, the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Or Hulk Hogan.
Oh, not Hulk Hogan. He's fucking not good. Hulk Hogan's on his way out. He by all counts, he is in a medically induced coma at the minute, and he's had a new valve put in his heart, but unfortunately his heart is not accepting the valve, and there's talks about a heart transplant, but he might be too weak for a heart transplant. So yeah, I love Hulk Hogan. He was a big part of my childhood. And yeah, unfortunately, I think within the next few weeks, we are going to be in a world without Hulk Hogan, which is a sad, sad thought. So yeah, fucking, and I brought Hulk up. Thoughts and prayers to Hogan. No, the Incredible Hulk, the guy in the Avengers.
Right.
Oh, insufferable human being. Yeah, he'd love to jump on anything that's got like climate change or a cause to it. But yeah, but it doesn't seem to hit like it used to with people. Almost like the after COVID, because they tried it a couple of times, didn't they? They've tried chucking a variant out now and again. In fact, there was only fucking 2 weeks ago, wasn't there? There was they tried pushing a new variant of concern out. That was just like, no, not today. Monkeypox
People
died on
just
its
use
ass.
COVID now as a reason to like ring in sick. Oh, I can't come to work today. Oh, why? Got COVID.
It's it's the new flu, isn't it? Like everyone when they had a cold, they said, "Oh, I've got flu." You've got cold. But yeah, that's I need the battle plan. I think that's what it is. Like for
you
me,
need to know what they're playing at.
Yeah, for what was the reason? If it was weather manipulation, why did all of a sudden we feel the need to fuck up a part of Texas?
Or it could just be natural.
It could just be natural, and like I said, that's the scary thing, because if that's
it definitely
the case,
goes on. So is it God? Is it them? Is it God? Is it them?
I don't. I mean, like this I suppose anger some Christians here. Maybe God doesn't like deal with the fucking Earth cycles. Do you know what I mean?
The weather's not his field.
Well, it's if the Earth's a machine that he kind of oversees, you're the god of your car essentially. You can't stop it running out of oil. You got to maintain that shit.
It is a machine. Probably is. You probably nailed it on the head there. Earth is a machine. It's just we figured out how to work the machine.
Maybe that's like I 100%. I'd take that on board. Is that you could even go down with the down the road of the manifestation. That's essentially what you're talking about when you talk about this stuff. Like I always wonder how much I like this always takes it to fucking like weird places. But we know that during the like the invention of rocketry, but everybody, like even the Nazis were up to it, while they were messing around with incredibly advanced for the time forms of propulsion. They were also dealing in some fucking dark occult shit. We see it now at CERN, where you've got like the goddess of destruction, Shiva. Shiva's the cat food. Shiva, I think, is the is the god. Like just for no fucking reason hanging out there. Like I just said about the Jack Parsons taking part in the Babylon workings that we spoke about before. It feels like advanced science and physics goes hand in hand with occultism and alchemy. And what better way, right? If you take, let's say it's some sort of like chemtrail, like cloud seeding thing. So you take a bunch of like natural elements and like form like chemicals and different things, whatever we put in it. We'll say it's. I know you can cloud seed with dry ice, but let's just say it's more advanced than that. I mean, but the dry ice analysis works as well. And you take those natural ingredients and you go and spread them in a certain way, and it fucking rains. That's alchemy. I don't care what anyone says. That's the same as going, right, well, if I take fucking coal and chili peppers and turmeric and a fucking badger's asshole and smash it all together, my fucking gold, once I've compressed it all, but my fucking coal turns into a fucking diamond or gold. It's the same thing. You're taking things, you're putting them together, and it's producing something. So, like I said, you can call that science, you can call it chemistry, you can call it fucking alchemy, you can call it fucking whatever you want.
Here's the question on chemtrails. Do you think they're doing it at the same time while getting someone to their destination? Or do you think they're just sending planes out with only the chemicals that they're putting into the atmosphere? Do you know what I mean by that?
I don't know. There's
No,
been
but
those.
do you know what I mean by the question?
Yeah.
So
the
normal planes carrying passengers, but every so often dumping a load of shit in the atmosphere,
well
in the sky.
there
Sorry,
was-
or are they taxpayers? Either way is bad. Or are taxpayers just paying for planes just to take off from airports to do these grid patterns in the sky?
If I can find it, like
Probably killers.
quickly.
Have you ever seen the grid, by the way? Have you ever woke up and gone, fuck? And I think I've sent you it before.
Not over here. I've never seen. I know I have seen stuff. Let me just play this for you quickly before we move on from this. This was. I don't know if this was the clip I wanted, but it's the first clip I found, and this was RFK in September 25, 2024, acknowledging chemtrails.
And on day one, we're going to declare an emergency like we did in COVID. But it's going to be a chronic disease emergency, and we're going to get the fluoride out of the water. We're going to get the chemicals out of the food. We're going to get the chemtrails out, the chemicals out of the chemtrails, and there's 1,000 ingredients in our food that are banned in Europe, and we're going to get rid of all those chemicals. And I know how to do it. And
so there was another.
Do you believe him? Do you believe him now? After everything is like, I think the guy seems like a lovely bloke, you know. But could we be being fooled by him?
Right, hang on. So I'm going to play this other clip. This is the one I wanted. It was when he was on Dr. Phil. That was right.
Good old
so
Phil.
we'll talk about we'll talk about that in a second.
My name is Emily, and my biggest concern is the stratospheric aerosol injections that are continuously peppered on us every day. Bromium, aluminum, strontium, it's sprayed in our skies all day long. And I know you've talked to Dane Wigington about this. He seems to be one of the experts in the field.
Is there a question?
Yes. How do we stop it?
that is not happening in my agency. You know, we don't do that. It's done, we think, by DARPA. And a lot of it now is coming out of the jet fuel.
Yes,
so, you know, those materials are put in jet fuel. I'm going to do everything in my power to stop it. We're bringing on somebody who's going to think only about that, find out who's doing it, and holding them accountable.
Yes, sir.
My name is Emily.
Interesting.
So that's the thing. Like these things have been acknowledged now. They're being spoken about. I don't think chemtrails are a conspiracy anymore. As wacky as that sounds, I think
it sounds insanely. It fucking does, but you're right.
Yeah,
it's not.
I think it's unreasonable now to, because I thought chemtrails were bullshit for years. Like that was
absolutely bullshit.
Yeah, I was like, look, I fucking wake up in a winter's day. I start the car. If I go around the back of it, I can see fucking condensation and stuff coming out of my car.
Fucking vapor coming out of the
air. It's temperature induced. I don't believe that anymore.
I do think some of it is.
Oh yeah,
some of the planes. I think that happens.
I don't know. I don't know because I don't know enough about it, Ollie. I don't know.
I think it definitely happens.
Why though?
Because so I see planes, and this is why I'm brought up passenger planes.
Can't help feel that you knock around to my question.
I am going to answer your question. I see planes. I do see it disperse. I see the contrail disperse.
Yeah.
But then I see these trails in the sky with not a fucking plane in sight, and it's still fucking there.
Yeah, I mean maybe there's different types. That's the thing.
Different types of air. Different types of
chemtrails.
No, I think there's a contrail, and I think there's a chemtrail,
Mm-hmm.
and one is very different from the other.
Oh yeah, like
one is just the vapor coming out.
What I'm saying, I don't know. Like this is the problem because right. I think you're probably right, Ali. That's what I should say. But the reason I
it disperse. It disperses literally within probably 10 minutes. It's gone.
Yeah, but this is the issue I have with it is we've lost the trust of institutions, and so with that comes I will always now have that in the back of my mind. So if someone turns around to me and says, well, some are chemtrails and some are contrails, and contrails are just like certain altitudes, and your water vapor does water vapor stuff and leaves a cloud. I go, right, that's okay. But you're also the same person that told me to put a mask on and told me that I should get vaccinated. So I'm probably going to fucking hell on if I listen to you about this too. So that's the problem I have now, is finding trustable people to listen to, because everyone kind of sounds like they're full of bullshit these days, apart from us. But I think you're probably right. That's what I think that's a fair assumption. I think it's interesting what RFK Jr. was saying there, that these things are in the jet fuel they're using. Now that's, excuse me, I just burped in your ear.
I didn't hear it. You could have just not said anything.
I could have done, but like that was.
I sometimes just put the thing on mute and do the massivest fart, and then just put it off. Like nobody's the wiser.
Oh no, I never
see my face.
No, change. I never mute when I fart. So I like to try and wonder to see if anyone ever hears.
Like an Easter egg.
Yeah.
An Easter egg as well, yeah.
But it makes more sense. If it's something that's being put in the jet fuel rather than like a fucking Dreamliner having a fucking chemtrail button, which is where all of a sudden the normal everyday fucking pilot that's flying a fucking holiday trip to Florida goes, oh well, we're fucking over London. On it goes. But then it doesn't make sense why they stop. There's that famous video, isn't there, of the chemtrail stopping behind the plane.
Oh yeah.
So I have no idea. I really don't. I don't get it. The other thing with the stuff that's in there, maybe it's fucking. I mean, maybe why are they putting in the jet fuel? Are they putting in the jet fuel because there's a plan? There's a they making a plan. Or is it just cheap to make? Does it make it cheaper to make fuel?
Well, you think about it. If you put the chemicals in the jet fuel, because a plane, and I find this fucking wild, but the fuel is fucking literally all over the plane. It's in the wings. It's everywhere. Apparently so. When it gets fueled up, I just think God's just big guy's hand flying around himself.
I think there's some people out. There's some interesting people out there which have measured the wings and call bullshit on the. There's some. I was watching something the other day where there was.
See, I'm not there. I am not that crazy.
There was
not yet.
No. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just saying that there was a cool thing I saw the other day, where it was a guy that had measured the wings, and again, it's just a person. It's a person telling me numbers. So how the fuck am I supposed to know if he's telling the truth or not? We're basically saying like this is if by how big the wings are, this is how many liters of the fuel you could fit in the wings. then he showed a 747, I think it was, or it was a big plane being filled through that tiny little hose that they stick in it, and how much of a short time the hose was attached. And then he broke down exactly how much fuel per second would have had to be put into the plane in order to fill it up in that time.
Right.
And it was like an inordinate amount of like fuel being pushed through that tiny little fucking hose. And yeah, I've like again, probably bullshit. The guy was definitely a flat earth guy. Like using that as like to say that the distances between the places we go are all fucked up and wrong. But yeah, I do find it wild. I find it wild when you the idea that the wings are fucking filled with fuel is, it strikes me as odd.
Yeah. Well, my point there is maybe as them being bastards, they're efficient bastards. You know, let's put it in the fuel, because that way we don't have to fucking we can put passengers on it as well. We don't have to have the fuselage filled with these canisters. You can just put people on there.
I also don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility you could just have planes doing this. Like, I saw a video the other day actually, and this wasn't what the video was for, but it was the first thing that came to my mind. So there was a guy that recorded some TikToks of himself. He was on, I can't remember where he was going, but it was an 8-hour flight he was on.
Mm-hmm.
And he was American. He was in America, and he was the only person on his flight. And he so he was just like, he said, I came on the flight, I'm the only passenger, and he's there all like, you know, in like the first class where you got your little room and stuff like that. He said, I was in economy, and they just said, would you prefer to sit up in first class, because it means we've got to walk. We don't have to walk as far to get to you. So he's sat up there now, all of a sudden upgraded to fucking like Bono level flights. And then the first thing that dawned on me, I thought, how many of those are there? And that if you can have one 8-hour flight over the US, which just had a cabin crew and one guy on it.
I've been on a plane that's got hardly any people on. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah, but that just made me thought that, oh, of course, like all you need to do is look at the fucking sky map of how many planes are in the sky. It is not difficult. It is not difficult to organize an empty plane.
Mate, right now there's probably, I would say, a few thousand.
No, but I mean, that might be planes that have to go somewhere else go somewhere else, and they've just got no people in. But what I mean is, how difficult would it be to set up either an airline which didn't actually fly people? So you know like the Janet Airlines that fly people in and out of Area 51.
Yep.
So how difficult would it be to set an airline up? If you were to do this, if you were the cabal, the fucking Illuminati, the World Economic Forums, like Bill Gates' left testicle, and that's all this airline did. It flew. Those planes went over somewhere else. They were there to pump the chemtrails out, and it would get lost. I'm sure there is a couple of people out there which have already worked out that there is planes up there which you can't buy tickets for. You can't do this, you can't do that, and they'll just be lost in the noise, because it would take such a fucking expert level of autism to work this shit out. There's like a couple of people that have bothered to sit down and do the
We need
homework.
those people, to be fair, though.
No, but we don't, because we'll never find them.
How long do you think it's been going on for, the chemtrails?
I'm glad you asked.
Because just quickly before you bring up whatever you're going to bring up, Like in the lockdowns, one thing I do remember from the lockdowns when I went out into the garden,
Clear skies.
did a lot of barbecues. Yeah, fucking the skies looked
Clear
amazing.
skies. Yeah. Do you know the other thing I found was fucking weird during lockdowns when we had clear skies? Fucking ripping summer.
It was almost like the perfect summer, Lee. Like, this will keep them happy. Give them a bit of fucking sunshine.
But I don't think they were doing that on purpose.
Sunshine barbecues, yeah.
No, I no, because I don't think they were doing it on purpose. I just don't think they could get away with spraying when there was no you couldn't have grounded flights.
Okay.
And spray. It was just
actually, you're right. It makes no sense because apparently the whole sun. Well, if you believe it, the sunshine killed COVID, but like if it was real bad weather, would make people even more ill.
Just quickly before I play this thing about chemtrails, because you brought code up again. Did you happen to listen to that interview that I put out where it was?
I've liked it, and I'm going to listen to that tomorrow while I'm digging.
Right. I implore everybody to listen to this. Like, if you want to see how much the Overton window has shifted on talking about this stuff, it's on YouTube. Mike Yeadon is doing essentially what he is referring to as like his last kind of interview, because he said he's done like over 700 in-person interviews and it doesn't seem to be shifting the needle on anything. So this is kind of the conclusive like Mike Yeadon story. He was the guy that came out in COVID, was the ex-director of virology for Pfizer, I think he was, something like that.
I remember him.
Yeah. So a wild one for someone that's worked in virology. He has come out the other side so far that towards the end of that interview, he does not believe in viruses anymore of any sort, not just COVID.
Wow.
He believes essentially what he's saying. I don't think he uses the term terrain theory, but that's where he is, and he believes sickness comes from either like being like parts of it essentially is what we've always known, is that if you go to bed with wet hair, you get a cold. If you get yourself really, really cold and you don't warm yourself up, you'll get sick. He also put it down to, which I weird synchronicity, because my girlfriend has just started like, you know, the mouth tape thing when you go to sleep. No
mouth tape. Oh, mouth is that the to whiten your teeth?
No. It's to stop you breathing through your mouth when you're asleep. Like you literally tape your mouth shut.
Stop you snoring.
It's special time. No, it's not just to stop you snoring. It's like for all sorts. It's supposed to help sinus issues and things like that. But oddly enough, Yeadon turned around and said that the people that breathe through their mouth when they sleep, as opposed to breathing through their nose, are more susceptible to illness. And it's just he seems to believe that illness and sickness come from a disturbance in like the natural ebb and flow of how your body's supposed to work, rather than, because he goes into there, I think it's called Cox postulate, I think it's called, the fact that you for something like, I think did he say, was it 7 years or 70 years this went on for? Either way, over a lot of years, they tried to get people which were sick, and they would take me who was fine, you that was sick, would put us in a room together and let us leave. And they found no difference between people. So obviously they put controls in. So they put two people in a room together which weren't sick, and then they put one person in a room with someone that was sick and somebody else that wasn't sick. They saw no statistical difference in who got sick.
Right.
So me being in a room with you who was sick, or me being in a room with somebody else that wasn't sick, had no bearing statistically on whether I would get sick. Like it was the same.
That's mental.
Yeah.
I don't know where I am with that, because I mean, I'm pretty sure I've picked a cold up off one of my little.
Well, this is
fuckers,
we've gone off the reservation here, but I'm going to stick to it because I find it dead interesting. He had a really good thing for this. I said, when was the last time you had a headache? And when you had your headache, you thought to yourself, I wonder who I caught this headache off.
That is shit, yeah.
And his thing was, we as humans, one of the reasons we've become like one of the dominant species is we are expert pattern. What's the right word for it? Like we're really good at identifying patterns and things. You know, it's what we do. It's how we've done everything we've done. I said, so what we do is we see patterns that aren't there sometimes. I did
that today.
Yeah. So if you wake up in the morning with a cold, your head immediately goes, oh, that fucking girl behind the counter in the fucking hairdressers that I spoke to 6 weeks ago, she had a cold. I've got that off this bitch.
Yeah.
I like one of the reasons I'm down with what he's saying is I am awful if I don't sleep properly. So like I can power through one night of maybe an hour's sleep and do the next day. If I get fucked up 2 days in a row, I'm sick. Like,
sleep deprivation is bad.
Yeah. So who am I catching the cold from? I mean, the common thought there would be, oh well, it's just because your immune system's low, right? Okay, so where I'm still in the same places, I see very few people, depending on like in my work week. Really, I mean, I could be in a room, like a large room, for instance. If I take my son to a club, I could be in a large room with a load of people, but I'm still in a pretty fucking big, well-ventilated room. Or there can be some weeks where I see like 3 people, none of them are sick, but if I have a couple of late nights, I fucking end up with a cold. So
maybe
what
that's
is it?
what it is. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's fear, stress.
I think I don't think it's fear. I think you're
of.
I think stress is a. It might not be the right word for it, but as in because if you're thinking about it as in mental stress, I think lack of sleep puts stress on your body. That and again, if you were going down the terrain theory road, you're interfering with your body's natural thing, and then that's the terrifying thing, because if that's how we are, look, anyone that's watching the video, I'm getting in here, I'm huddling in.
I love it when you get in on me.
Yeah. So let's say we've been lied to about virology, like for our lives. Like we've like obviously longer than this, but do you know what? If you came before me, fuck you. You're not important to me.
That's what I say to the wife.
Yeah. There's no chance of her coming before you, mate. Yeah, if you come for me, I don't care about you. So we've been lied about virology for our whole lives. So the companies that have lied to us about virology are the companies that are giving us the drugs to treat the viruses, which are upsetting our body's natural habitat, which are making us sick, which are making us be diagnosed for viruses, to take the drugs for the viruses, which are upsetting our bodies, which are making us sick.
And then we have another ailment, so we have to take another drug.
Yeah. Perfect. The
perfect fucking business model.
The perfect
Genius.
diabolical scheme.
That's the name of a podcast, by the way. An upcoming one. The Diabolical Scheme. I like it.
But yeah, I recommend anyone go like. It's fucking wild to hear the director of Pfizer essentially tell you that fucking colds aren't real.
I need to listen to this tomorrow. I've not heard.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant, Ollie. That's why I sent it to you and said, please listen to this now.
Well, I would have listened today if I had like the wife you're busy yabbiting me next to me most of the day.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. I get it. But yeah, more to our listeners, go and listen to it. It's on Oracle Films. The Oracle Films are the people that have just released The Agenda. I think it's the same film company, and they've just released this interview with Eden as well. So clearly, there's some good stuff going to come out of wherever this Oracle thing is. If you enjoyed the show, please. I know we jumped around a little bit and found some stuff, but I hope you found it entertaining. If you want to leave us that review on your way out the door, that'd be fucking super sound of you. If you want to become a patron, that would be super duper sound of you. If you want to buy a t-shirt, that'd be just all right. You can do that. Be cool. We'll be back tomorrow with Rich from the Great British Bake Off, Great British Protest, and yeah, and all that good stuff. Ollie, say something. Yeah. Get me out of this shit.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you two nursery rhymes that I've just realised that they've been telling us about the whole climate change thing. We are the Three Little Pigs people, and they will fucking blow our house in. And also, how about this one? Incy Wincy Spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Those motherfuckers have been telling us all along. Since we were little. Yeah.
It's do you know what, Ollie? There's certain like red flags that pop up now to go and you go, am I gone too far? Never go full retard.
Oh, I thought it was right on the money. Fuck you.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Why are you a conspiracy theorist? And I said, why isn't everybody a goddamn conspiracy theorist?
This is the real research. Literally have an alien base, and they are literally communicating.
I don't have a whole lot of time.
Have you personally had any experience with interdimensional beings?
What we're thinking of as aliens, they have infiltrated a lot of aspects of military establishment. And they are not what they claimed to be.
We leave you much that is undone.
That's one small step for man.
There are great ideas undiscovered.
Visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars.
Remove one of truth's protective layers.
There's a monolith.
They want the major population centers wiped out.
Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon?
One diaphragm per man.
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
Those challenges are yours.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
There are places to go beyond belief. Beyond belief.